Hi students. In today's session, we are going to discuss about what is Python, what are the features of Python. All these we are going to discuss in today's class. So this Python course will be for 2 months. Like core Python and advanced Python will be for 2 months. So in all these 2 months, in core Python we are going to discuss about Python features, then installation, then fundamental data types, and then we'll discuss about a number system, string handling, input function, conversion functions, and then we'll discuss about like operators, if condition examples, for loop examples, while loop examples, collection data types, data structures. And then we'll discuss about string manipulations, regular expressions, then functions, then exception handling, then file handling, modules and packages. All these we are going to discuss. And in advanced Python, we'll discuss about object-oriented programming, then developing desktop applications, Windows applications. And then we'll discuss about internet and email, multi-threading, networking, database programming, then web scraping, then Python versions features, and then interview question and answers. Like all these will be there. And also at the end, we'll discuss about project also. So in project, we are going to discuss with desktop applications with database integration. So database programming with a desktop application project we'll see. And here in all the classes in core and advanced Python, so we'll focus on the theory part and also programs also. Like from each chapter, I'm going to discuss at least 20 to 25 examples from each chapter programs. Okay, so here we'll focus on programming also. So when you see many programs from each chapter, then your programming skills also will improve. Okay, so because like how I used to teach offline classes, like in online classes also, I used to cover all the programs. So when you see multiple programs, then you can understand the logic, like how the coding is working. And this training we can call it as project oriented training. Project oriented training we can say, because after completing core and advanced Python, then you can work on Python projects. Because here we'll see many examples, nearly 300 to 400 programs or examples you will see, and that is used, that will be very useful when you are working on live or real-time projects. And every day I will record the session. I will send you the recorded session to your mail ID, and the notes also I'll send. Day-wise notes and examples I'll send to your mail IDs. So we'll see about the basics in today's session. So here, if you want to see the latest version of Python, so if you see the latest version of Python here, here I'm typing like this, python.org, and here in downloads you can see 3.9.5 is there. This is the latest. This is the latest version of Python that we are using here. Okay, 3.9.5 is the latest version. So when we are discussing core Python, advanced Python, we are going to see all the examples in the latest version of Python. And here when we say Python, here it is called as a powerful language, like Java or C# in .NET. It is a powerful language, and it is called as a general purpose programming language. So Python is not for one category of applications. So it is for any type of application, or it is for any category of application. Okay, so that's why we are saying it is like a general purpose programming language. So if you want to develop desktop applications, or if you want to develop websites, or if you want to develop scientific applications like which are used in ISRO, NASA, DRDO, or if you want to develop network applications like where multiple people can communicate, and like if you want to send the like audio video streaming will be there, then in that case network applications are used. So if you want to develop networking applications, then by using Python it is possible. Now I'm using GoToMeeting. So GoToMeeting is a networking application. So if you want to develop networking applications, or if you want to develop games or animation softwares, animation applications, by using Python, it is possible. So Python is developed by Guido van Rossum in the year 1989. It is 1989. It is developed, and it is introduced as an internal project for Mathematical Research Institute called CWI, located in Netherlands. So within 2 years, it is released for public. In 1991, Python is released for public so that IT companies or other companies can use the Python software. Okay. So here Python is introduced in the year 1989, and Java is introduced in the year 1995, and .NET is introduced in the year 2000. .NET is introduced, Microsoft .NET. So before Java, before .NET, this Python is there. Python software or Python language is there, but it is not popular from the starting years. So in the beginning, it is not popular. Like from last 7 8 years, we are seeing talking about Python. It has become very popular. From last 7 8 years, it is popular. Before it is like we can say it is silent only. Okay, so when you take Java, it is popular from the beginning. It is very popular, but why Python is not popular from the beginning, from the starting years? Why suddenly it has become popular? All these we are going to discuss. Okay, so here when we are working with this Python here, so Python is having different flavors. Like here you can see C Python is there, J Python, then Iron Python, then Py is there, and Ruby Python, Stackless Python, like all these are there. So Python language default implementation is C Python. Okay, Python language default implementation is C Python. We are saying C Python. So it is a default and most widely used implementation of the language. So if any student is learning Python, it means that the student is learning what? C Python. So we are going to use C Python. Okay, if any student is downloading, installing Python, it means that the student is downloading C Python and using it. So even when you are working with DJANGO also, in DJANGO also C Python is used. Okay, Python language default implementation is C Python. See, when we say about C language, in C language also we'll see different flavors, like Turbo C is there, ANSI C is there, Borland C is there. So implementation is default implementation is a Turbo C only. Turbo is the name of the compiler. Okay. See, latest version of Python does not support, will not work in Windows. Windows 7 we are not going to use. Like here it is clearly it is given here. So Python 3.9.5 is there. No, here you can see. So 3.9 plus, like 3.9.1 or 9.5 cannot be used in Windows or earlier versions. We cannot. Here it is clearly written here. So here, while working with this Python here, so Python is used for mathematical and numerical calculations, and Python is used for automation. Like whatever work we are doing manually, like sitting in front of the system, opening the applications or opening the softwares, then typing, clicking on the buttons, like whatever work we are doing manually, that manual work can be done automatically using Python. Python is automation expert. About automation in next classes I'll tell in detail. Okay. And here Python is used to handle big data, large amount of data. So while working with social networking applications, while working with e-commerce websites, online shopping websites, and while working with cloud computing applications, we can while working with cloud computing applications, these websites or applications works with a huge amount of data which is in terabytes or petabytes. So Python programs or Python scripts can even handle large amount of data which is in terabytes or which is in petabytes. Okay, and using Python, any application or any project can be any application or any project can be developed. So Python is not for one category of applications. So using Python, any application or any project can be developed. And here when we say about Python and Java, students may be having doubts like which course to learn, like whether to learn Java or Python or some other course, any other course. Or students may be like thinking like which is having good demand in the market, like what are the trending courses. Students will be having the doubt. So those who are interested in programming, then they can choose Java or they can choose Python. But there are a lot of differences between Java and Python. Many differences are there. Like today we are going to discuss all those. So here when you work with like Java, if you want to be expert in Java, it takes time. So it may take 6 months to complete everything like core Java, advanced Java, J2EE. Lot of things will be there to learn. Okay. So minimum it will takes 6 months. Okay. So Python means if you want to learn Python core and advanced Python, so within 2 months you can complete the course. Then after that you can learn other Python related courses, whichever like is good. You can learn those courses. Depends on the requirement. You can learn. Okay. So here when you take Java, like in Java we have to write longer lines of code. In Java, we have to write hundreds of lines of code, thousands of lines of code, or sometimes we need to write kilometers of lines of code. Lot of coding is required. Okay, so those are working with C, C++, Java, .NET. So lot of programming is required. Okay, so here, in real time, Java is used for developing enterprise applications like which are used in companies or organizations. Like enterprise applications works in old systems and new systems, like they'll work in legacy systems. Okay. And like Java is used for developing websites and it is used for developing mobile applications. All these we can do it. Okay. And here when we say about this Python here, so Python is used for developing desktop applications, websites, scientific applications, networking applications, games or animation softwares. Like all these we can develop. That possibility is there here. Okay, and here when we say about this Python here, using Python, we can work with other courses also, related courses. Okay, so after when you are learning, after learning Python, or we can say while learning Python, you can learn UI technologies. Okay, so Python is a language you can learn, and UI technologies is there. We can say web technologies, so which contains HTML, JavaScript, CSS, jQuery, then Bootstrap, DOM. All these are there. So all these comes under one course only, like a UI technologies course. You can complete within 45 days. You can complete. So while learning Python, you can continue that UI technologies course because it is a mandatory for any developer, for Python developer, for .NET developer, for Java developer, or those who are into some other technologies or frameworks. Like for everybody, like even for those who are working on testing tools, like UI technologies is mandatory. Like that is the basic course. So everyone should know about what is HTML, JavaScript, CSS, jQuery, Bootstrap, DOM. So everyone should have idea about this. Like those who want to be in IT field. Okay. So after completing Python and UI technologies, then students can learn Django. Django or DJANGO students can learn. So Django is the framework. Python is a language. Django is a framework. DJANGO is a framework used for developing websites. Okay. So Django or DJANGO is completely developed in Python. So DJANGO is a framework. That framework is developed using what? Python language. It is completely in Python only. So it has Python files or Python modules are there. Okay. So if you want to learn Django, so first you should learn language first. After completing Python language, then you can go with Django framework. Okay, framework means it is the collection. It is a collection of Python files or modules. So that framework is developed using what? Using Python language. It is developed. Okay. So here Python UI technologies and Django is the combination. Okay. If you want to work as a programmer, if you want to work as a developer, so if you want to work on live or real-time projects, then you have to complete all these three courses. Then when you apply for the jobs, then definitely they'll give chance a preference to you. Okay. So only with Python you can get the jobs. But to get the job quickly, okay, so those who know all these three, then the company will give importance for them. Okay, so if you learn these three as a combination, then the company will give you a chance to work on to work in their company or organization. Okay, so here after like here other streams are also there. This is one stream what I have told now. Like another stream is other streams is after learning Python, students can learn other courses. Like students can learn DevOps or AWS, then data science, machine learning, deep learning, then artificial intelligence, IoT, Internet of Things, then VLSI, embedded systems, and then students can learn reporting tools, testing tools. Okay. After Python, they can choose which course to go with. So many like courses are there which are like trending courses, which are like hotcakes. Okay, so based on the based on the interest what you are having, then you can decide to which course you can go. Okay, so if you are good in programming, if you are interested in programming, you can choose the related course. And if you are not interested in programming, you can choose other like reporting tools or testing tools, like other options are there. Okay, so Python software or Python language is used as a additional skill. So Python will not go waste. After learning Python, many other courses are there. They are very useful. And when you are even when those who are learning Java and other courses, they will learn Python. Okay, so now they're not fixed to one language. So if they know Java, they are learning Python also, because in their projects, in Java projects, in other languages projects, Python code may be used. So Python is it is for various tasks. So it is not for like one category. So it can be used for different various categories. Even in Python projects, even in other languages projects, we'll see Python code. So like many will learn Python, even though they know other programming languages, they will learn Python also, because in their projects somewhere the Python code may be used. Okay, so here when we see the market of Java or Python, when we see the market, like if you take countries like US, so their Java market is already like it is down. Python market, Python and Python related courses market is increasing, because in their universities Python is there, data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning, all these are there. Okay, so companies are also working on Python projects only. Okay, Like for example, if you take countries like India, so here Java is down and Python market is stable. Okay, so Python market is stable here. See, if any doubts are there after the class, you can ask me the doubts. I'll give you time. Okay, definitely I'll answer all your doubts or questions. I'll ask. I'll give you the answer. Okay, so while working with this Java here in India, like Java market is down, Python market is stable. Okay, so but why many will learn Java? Like why they will do projects in academic projects or internships? Why they do in Java is because in their universities, in their syllabus, Java is there. Okay, but even in like universities in India, like students are doing academic projects or internships in Python related courses. Okay, like here when we see only computer science used to be there before, but now again in computer science we can see many categories, like Python is there, data science is there, like artificial intelligence is there, then IoT is there. So we in computer science like specialization is there. So those who are interested in data science, they can choose it. In computer science specialization, like there like many specializations are there in computer science. Like in our like courses in BTech, we are seeing in our universities, we are seeing. Okay, so here when we see the like salaries for the freshers. Okay, like compared with Java freshers, Python freshers are getting more salary, and when it is with experienced people, Java people will get more salary because Java is there from so many years. Like many clients or many companies are using only Java, and Python means it is popular from last 7 8 years. It has become very popular, and for Python means best choice. Python will be the best choice for new companies or startup companies. Okay, and like even when we take Python, like the companies clients which are using like Python, they'll pay good salary for the programmers, and they will like use the applications. Okay, so after a few years, then Python programmers, experienced programmers, they may get a high salary compared with Java people, because the companies or clients which are on Java, so now quickly they cannot migrate to Python. They cannot shift to Python. So it will take time, because in Python we can see many features which are not there in other programming languages. Okay, so now here we are going to discuss about why Python is silent for many years, and why suddenly it has become popular from last 7 8 years. That we are going to discuss now. So when we see the Python versions here, so we can see Python 1.0 is there, 2.0 is there, and 2.7 is there. So Python 2.7 is like very popular. Python 2.7. After that 3.0 is introduced. Then after that 3.6, 3.0, 3.6, 3.7, 3.8, 3.9. Now here you can see 3.9.5 is the latest version. Okay, so like when we say about Python 3.0, it is introduced as a new language. It is introduced as an independent language. It is a version of Python. But 3.0 is introduced as a new language or independent language, and it has got all new features. And for Python software or for Python language, they have given a new phase to Python. Okay, so what all features are there in old versions, they are not carried to the new version of Python. What all features are there in 2.0, 2.7, they are not carried to 3.0. So in 3.0, backward compatibility is not there. So backward compatibility is not there means the features of 2.0 or 2.7, they are not carried to 3.0. That's why I said it is a new language. It is an independent language, not depending on old versions of Python. So we can see a lot of changes in Python 3.0 in programming and other things, other options, we can see the difference. So after Python 3.0, we can see 3.6, 3.7, 3.8, 3.9, 3.9.5, all these are there. Okay, so like we can say like before Python 3.0, after Python 3.0. So when Python 3.0 is introduced, then IT companies started using, they have started developing the softwares, and Python is used for different in different tasks in the companies. Like all these have happened. So then when this happened, then students started coming and learning Python. Like all these happened here. Okay, so here when we say about Python 3.0 and later versions, like in Python 3.0 and later versions, backward compatibility is there. Okay, Python 3.6 is there. It supports the features of 3.0. Like for example, 3.9 is there. Python 3.9, it supports the features of 3.0, 3.6, 3.7, 3.8 also. Okay, so current version supports the previous version features up to 3.0, it will support. Okay, so here when we say about this Python, Python is developed by, so Python is developed by Guido van Rossum. Python or C Python, as I told before. Python language default implementation is C Python. Python or C Python is developed by Guido van Rossum. Okay, so here when we are working with this, when we work with this Python here, so Python is developed by Guido van Rossum. He is the father of Python. Okay, and now Python is maintained by Python Software Foundation, or we can say Python community, we can say. So it is Python Software Foundation or Python community. It is a non-profitable organization, non-commercial organization, will say. Okay. So here you can see like donate button is there. So those who want to send the funds to that organization, they can use this. Okay. So here when we say about this Python Software Foundation, so it is a large community, like thousands of programmers or lakhs of programmers are working for this great software, Python software. Okay. So here, the members in this community, they are releasing new versions of Python, they are releasing new technologies, new frameworks according to the business requirements, according to the demand in the market. They are doing changes in the software. They are adding new features in the software. All these they are doing it. So the members in this community, they are available in other sites, like in social networking sites, in forums, in QA science. They are available, and those are working on Python and Python related projects, live or real-time projects. If they have any technical issue, or if they are unable to do the task, if they are not having the, if they are not getting the code for doing the task, then they can communicate with the Python community, and they can get the solution for it. So while doing live or real-time projects, when you are unable to do the task, if your seniors or colleagues are not helping you, then you can send that to the community, Python community. So they are going to help the people who are working on live or real-time projects, and they can give you the solutions for the issues that are faced in while developing the applications or projects. So here, while working with this Python language here, so Python will call it as a Python language, will call it as a beginners language. Okay, so it is a beginners programming language. So beginners programming language means without having any programming knowledge, or without knowing C language basics, then students can directly start with Python. Okay, so that's why we are saying like it is beginners language. It is like nursery level, so you can learn from the beginning, like you can understand this language. So Python is it is a simple language compared with C or Java. It is a simple programming language, and it is like the whatever syntaxes are there, we can remember the syntaxes, and the rules we can easily follow. And Python is more understandable and it is more readable. You can understand the statements, what is the meaning, like here complex words, all are not used here. Okay, so we can understand the we can like understand easily, more understandable and more readability will be there. We can read the statements easily, how we'll read paragraphs. So here also we can read easily. And here when we say about this Python here, like any student can learn Python. IT student can learn Python, non-IT students also can learn Python. Okay, so those are from civil engineering, mechanical engineering, automobile engineering. Those are from electronics and electrical background, and those are from like MBA, finance or marketing, or those are from commerce background. Like students may be from any stream. Okay, and those are working as administrators, and those are working as SQL developers. Then they can learn Python. Okay, why? Because is like whatever work they are doing, administrators and SQL developers, like those work is done in Python programs only. With Python scripting, that work is done. Okay, so here anybody can learn Python, and it is in real time. It is very useful also. And Python is it is a friendly language. Like if anybody is learning Python, they can understand Python, so they will be knowing the meaning of the statements. Like friendly language means like a programmer or user can communicate. Okay, so like when we say friends, like two-way communication will be there, they can talk to each other. So here also students can understand Python and they can do coding also. They can write the programs, they can execute, all this is done. Okay, so C language, Java, like they will not call it as a friendly language. Python is friendly language. It is easy to learn and it is easy to use. Learning is easy. Python learning is easy, and also it is and using Python software is easier. Okay, you can see a lot of differences between Java and Python. We can see the differences. Here it has got a simplicity, like we can do programming easily. It is not very difficult like C or Java language. Okay, and here when we are working with this Python here, so Python software we can call it as it is called as lightweight software. Python software is lightweight. Python language is lightweight. So lightweight meaning is write less, do more. Okay, like writing will be less. So in Python, we'll write less lines of code. Okay, so when you take Python, like Python Software Foundation or Python community, they have already developed hundreds of modules or thousands of modules. So by using them, applications or projects can be developed easily. Okay, so application development is fast. Application development is fast. Why? Because is whatever code is required in the projects, then Python community or Python software foundation, they have already developed that code. Hundreds of modules or thousands of modules are already developed. Okay, so in Python when we are doing project, 90% of the coding is already done. So from our side, we should give only 10% of the coding we should give only 10%. Okay, so then application development will be fast. Like no need to take days together to complete the projects. So within the given time or within the given schedule, the projects can be finished and they can be delivered to the client. All these can happen. All these will happen. Okay, and here while working with this other languages, like for example if we take Java, in Java we have to write hundreds of lines of code, thousands of lines of code, lot of coding we need to give there. Okay, So every time programmers will do coding only. Okay. So lot in C or else in Java, to complete the projects, to finish the projects, it will take days together. Lot of coding is required. In other programming languages, 90% plus 10% the programmer should give. Programmer should do 100% code. Programmer should do it. So then in that case, it will take time. Okay. And here Python software is lightweight. Python language is lightweight, and Python applications are also lightweight. So if you develop desktop application or website, or if you develop some other applications, they are lightweight applications. Lightweight applications means they take less memory and works faster. Okay, so if any application or website taking less memory, then it will work some faster. Okay, website or any other application. So with Python, that advantage is there. What all applications you are developing, by default they are lightweight. So, but in other languages we have to do conversion. After developing the application, we have to compress the files. When we compress the files so that they can run quickly in the browser. So compressing the files, all these we need to do it manually. Okay, we are using the some tools, softwares. We need to compress the files, and we have to use them in the application so that application can run fast. All these will be there. Okay, so Python is lightweight, and Python applications are also lightweight. And here when we say about Python, so Python is portable. So Python will say that it is platform independent. Okay, like those who know Java, like one slogan is there, like Java means write once, run anywhere. So Java is platform independent, and also it is machine independent. Okay, and when we are working with Python, Python is a platform independent, and also it is machine independent. And here when we are working with Python, it is a platform independent at development and also at production. In both the cases, it is independent. Okay. So when we say about development, so when the students are learning Python, when they are practicing Python, or when programmers are developing applications in Python, so they can use the Python software in any operating system. So they can use Python in Windows, Unix, Linux, then Mac OS, AS400, they can use it. Like how it is possible is Python Software Foundation or Python community. Python Software Foundation or Python community, they have Python Software Foundation or Python community, they have developed Python software which runs in different operating systems. They have developed Python for Windows, Python for Unix, Python for Linux, Python for Mac OS, and Python for other operating systems. Here you can see on the screen, you can see download latest version for Windows. Here you can see looking for Python with different operating system like Windows, Unix or Linux or Mac OS or other operating system. So whichever operating system you are using, you can download that related Python software, you can install and you can use it. Okay, so here I'm using Python in Windows. In my system, Windows 10 Pro is there. Windows 10 Professional is there, I'm using it. So in companies, they may use a Linux operating system. They may use Ubuntu or Fedora or Linux Mint. Like in Linux also many flavors are there. Like depends on the requirement, they can use Ubuntu or Fedora, Linux Mint, many are there. Okay, so in companies they may use Unix or Linux OS, they may use along with Python, because Linux operating systems, like they are free, like they can use it. In companies they may not prefer Windows OS. In companies they may use Unix or Linux. Again, in Unix or Linux many flavors are there. So whichever is required, they can download, they can install, they can use it. Okay, and here Python, when we develop Python applications runs in any operating system, and they will run in any machine, it will run. Okay, so Python applications works in any operating system without doing any modifications. So how it is possible is, if the system, if the client system contains Python virtual machine. Okay, so when we install virtual machine in that physical machine, like Java virtual machine, here we are having Python virtual machine. So when we install Python virtual machine in that client system, when we install virtual machine in physical machine, then Python application will run, and the system can have any CPU architecture. CPU architecture may change, or the system may have low or high configuration, but Python application will runs in that machine. So Python virtual machine is used to run the Python applications in any OS, in any machine, in any device. It will works. About Python virtual machine in next sessions, we are going to discuss in detail how it will works, where it will works, how it is being executed. All these we'll discuss. Okay, and Python applications will run in any device, in any machine. It will run. It works in a laptop, desktop, tablet PC, in smartphone. So in any device, the Python applications will work. Okay, so that's why we are saying Python as platform independent and machine independent. So platform independent means it is platform independent at development and also at production. While developing applications, while using software, any OS we can use. When we are executing Python applications, it will run in any OS, in any machine, with any CPU architecture. Python application will works. And here Python has a scalability. Like when you develop applications in Python, when you are developing projects in Python, then it has a scalability. Like for example, if you develop a website using Python and DJANGO, Python language and DJANGO framework, then any number of users can access the website. Like 10,000 users, 1 lakh users can work with the website, but the server can give you the response. Okay, so when we take banking applications, or when we take online reservations, online payments, tatkal applications, all these, like there we can say less performance will be there. Like many times we are going to face problems with the payments or transactions, all these things, because they are in Java. Okay, but if the same applications are developed in Python, then we can see great execution speed. We can see like execution performance will be very good. Any number of users can work with the applications or websites. They can get the response. They can the task they can execute successfully, or transactions can be done successfully with Python websites, or else with Python applications. Like some of you may be having doubt, then how can we say that like Java applications work slow, Python works faster? In the next demos, next sessions, we will see that, like how the Java program works, how the Python program will works, why it works faster. All these we are going to discuss. Okay, and here when we say about Python, using Python we can develop versatile applications. So Python is not for one category of applications. So using Python, we can develop scientific computing applications, then highly secured applications, and we can develop applications for government organizations, or other businesses, for other companies. Any type of application can be developed using Python. That possibility is there. Okay. So in the beginning of the class, today's session, I've told that like Python is used for mathematical and numerical calculations, and Python is used for automation. Python is used to handle big data. Any application we can develop using Python. All these I've told. And at the end, what I said is Python is lightweight software, and Python is portable, and Python, using Python we can develop versatile application. Python has scalability, and using Python any application can be developed. Okay, so students, that's all for today, and tomorrow we are going to discuss about the difference between Java and Python. Like we'll discuss about other courses, like what are the testing frameworks, and what are the like libraries used for games or GUI applications. what is data science, what is machine learning, what is artificial intelligence, like many lot of things, basics related to basics of Python, then other courses, other Python related courses about everything, like about performance, scalability, various types of like applications. All these we are going to discuss in tomorrow's class. Okay, so students, if you have any doubt, you can ask. See, course contents you can collect from online team. So please talk to them. You can collect course contents. Like I've told them what all chapters. Ask them. Otherwise, I can send you the course contents. Okay, I will send regarding the fees and all. You have to discuss with online team only. You have to discuss. So here for uh, DJANGO. Like now, see, I'm using um, Windows 10 Professional. I'm using. My system is i5 system, and RAM is 8 GB, and hard disk means we can minimum means Windows operating system is important. You can use i3 or i5 or i7. I'm using i5 10th generation. I'm using. No need to go for advanced. Like if you are having a i5 with i7, if you are using it is good only. But i3 it will works, and i5. But I'm using 10th generation. I'm using here. Okay. So any other doubts, students? If you have any doubts related to Python, DJANGO. See, interview questions we are going to discuss in the last. Like in whatever we discuss in in the classes, after the completing the basic chapters, all again we'll discuss about interview program, question and answers programs. We'll discuss not only in the last. After completing 1 2 chapters, we'll discuss some question and answers programs. All will be there. So 2 months will focus on Python. After that, if you are interested to continue with the Django, your wish. See, 2 months only Python, I'll explain. 2 months only Python. After that, DJANGO. Okay. Again, DJANGO will take 2 months to finish. DJANGO will take 2 months. Okay. There in DJANGO, we'll discuss HTML, JavaScript, CSS, jQuery, Bootstrap, DOM. All will comes under DJANGO. Okay. Yeah. Client-side technologies, UI technologies is there. No, that comes under DJANGO. See, no need to be hurry in learning the course Python and DJANGO. First, focus on Python. After that, again, DJANGO I'll start separately. You can join in that course. Or after this Python, again, see, in the same slot, DJANGO will start. You can continue. See, Python duration is 2 months. After that, DJANGO means again separate 2 months for yeah. See, in demos, we may not have interaction. But after 1 2 classes, when I start Python, installation, data types, all these, I will interact with each and every student. I will ask questions. Students, if they have doubt, you can ask while class is going on. You can ask doubts. If you are not understanding anything, you can ask me. Interaction will be there. It is just like offline classes only. What all doubts you are having in the class, you can ask me. When I'm explaining, you can stop me and you can ask the doubts. Definitely, I'll clarify. Yeah, yeah. After completing core and advanced Python, we are going to discuss about these advanced modules with examples. NumPy, Pandas, then Matplotlib, Seaborn. All these with examples we'll discuss. Which processor means I didn't get this. No, 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 no need of all those. See, i5 is okay, no? i5 is okay. See here, configuration, no need to think about all this. Okay, depends upon the budget. Like you can buy, depends on the budget. Like I'm using no i5, yeah, i5 I'm using 10th generation I'm using. So this is used for any software. My system I can use it for any software. Then you can take this i7. i7 I think it will be around 70,000 like that. i5 means it will be like 55,000 like that will get. Some will use i3 also. i3 is also good only. i3 is also good. See here, framework is the collection of modules. Now DJANGO framework is there, no? DJANGO framework is the collection of modules. Modules means Python files. Framework is the collection of modules. Okay, students, I'm stopping now. And tomorrow we'll continue with the other basics. Okay. So if any queries are there, tomorrow you can ask.